Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers provided care for the flood-affected residents. In Taichung, Dr. Xie Shirong sketches surgical methods which enables his patients to feel safer. Selamat datang ke DaAi Headlines, saya Simon Gan. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. In Sungai Petani, Malaysia, heavy rains poured down on November 28th, causing many low-lying areas to be flooded. Tzu Chi volunteers immediately head to the affected areas to provide care and help with the cleanup works. Here's more. During the weekends, heavy rains poured, causing the low-lying areas to be flooded.
Around 3 in the afternoon, heavy rain started to fall. Not long after, it began to flood. Around 5 o'clock, the flood water has risen till waist level.
The flood water rushed in very fast. They carried my husband out. We did not bring anything from the house because it all happened too fast. The fridge has fallen. Everything has fallen. There's nothing we can do. We have no food to eat too.
Sungai Petani's volunteer fire and rescue force head out to assist with the flood-affected residents, while also reaching out to Tzu Chi volunteers for assistance.
We need Tzu Chi's assistance to provide the affected residents with food. Most of the residents in the new village are seniors, and babies need milk powder too.
Although there's a temporary shelter for the affected residents, but many of them are unwilling to leave their homes. As dawn breaks, they head back to their homes. This view is the reason why they are unable to sleep for the night.
These beds have all been soaked and spoiled, so we need to throw them away. We can't sleep on it anymore.
Volunteers accompany them all the time, helping them clean up their homes.
I'm very happy and touched that Tzu Chi volunteers came and helped. I really do not know how I'm going to clean all this up by myself. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteers have arrived and helped us. We have faith in Tzu Chi.
Due to the pandemic, Tzu Chi's assistance program in India has taken a step further. Through cooperation with the Palpung Sherab Ling Institute, it will be launching a distribution plan in both Gaya and Himachal, Pradesh to help people living in poverty.
Gaya, one of the main 4 pilgrimage sites, is the place where Gautama Buddha attained enlightenment. Buddhism believers from all over the world are constantly making pilgrimages. But due to the years of the religious conflicts, there is a little economic development, as it has become the poorest area in India. This year, because of the epidemic raging around the world, it has made this place even poor. A house is typically just one room with mud walls and felt roof. There were no pilgrims here. Residents have lost their main income. The children begging on the street can hardly get enough food. Palpung Sherab Ling Taiwan, through Taiwanese architect DaAi connected with Tzu Chi to launch a relief distribution plan. Starting from November 20th, local volunteers visited and compiled a list of needy people. Meanwhile, Himachal Pradesh, which is close to Tibet border of China, is also planning to hold distribution. A total of 3,000 households will be the recipient of the distribution, helping solve their urgent needs.
In Taichung, volunteers gather various activities to gather the love and blessings to be sent to the typhoon-affected residents in the Philippines. Take a look. Before dawn, chanting of the Buddha's name can be heard at the Tzu Chi Tongda grounds. Over 200 volunteers participated in the prostrating pilgrimage for the typhoon-affected residents in the Philippines. Liao Fushan, who is relying on crutches due to an accident, has also participated in the event.
I am praying in my home every day, hoping that the world can be free of disasters.
Zhang Sigui and his wife accompanies their son at the end of the queue. Although their footsteps are slow, their intention to pray for the affected residents is the same as others.
I brought my child here. I hope he can sow the seeds of blessings using the little ability he has and contribute into the sea of merits.
The sound of the coins rattling is the sound of love. Volunteer Lin Chongming led the way in gathering the kind thoughts of the public. Before noon, the big water vase is full of donations.
Hope that the residents in the Philippines can recover soon and their lives may return to normal.
Also in the Minchen Liaison Office, after volunteers finish their rehearsal, they put their palms together, sending their best wishes and donating into the box, hoping that these kind thoughts and blessings will head over to the people who are also in need. In Malaysia, community volunteers have launched small-scale charity sale events to raise funds to help the typhoon-affected residents in the Philippines. Here's more. In Selangor, Subang Jaya, there's a bakery which is full of customers early in the morning. They're not selling cakes nor breads, but a variety of hot food. After Typhoon Goni raged through the Philippines, the area was severely affected. Tzu Chi Selangor and Kuala Lumpur chapter launched a fundraising campaign, with volunteers holding small-scale vegetarian charity sale.
Our original idea was to gather our Tzu Chi sisters doing small-scale charity sale at their homes so that they will not feel so much pressure and they can also maintain the quality of the food.
The housewives prepared their own famous dish, which received great response from the public.
I will order whatever they prepared. We can help others and can fill up their stomachs at the same time. I think it's a very good thing to do.
Their houses have been destroyed by the typhoon, and they have lost everything. Their condition is much worse than us.
The charity sale have received great response from the public. There is also a care recipient who wanted to send love to the affected residents in the Philippines.
She heard that the people in the Philippines have been affected by the typhoon, so she went to ask her neighbors. I thought she would donate 10 ringgit or so, and the rest I would give it to her for free in conjunction with the Deepavali festival. But I didn't know that she collected 100 ringgit to donate.
Although the pandemic is still ongoing, but love remains the same. A total of 1,600 ringgits were collected from the charity sale, and it will all be donated to help the typhoon-affected residents in the Philippines rebuild their homes. In the Philippines, Tzu Chi has begun providing monetary aid to the affected residents of Albay province. Some use the money to buy building materials to rebuild their homes, while others use it to start small businesses. Although their lives have been severely affected by the typhoons, their fate depends on how they choose to move on with their lives.
When my husband was informed that he would receive the monetary aid, the first thing he thought was about the tricycle.
In Tabaco, some residents have already started finding jobs, while others began rebuilding their homes, safeguarding their family members.
I will use the money to buy building materials. When I went the other day, they don't have any stock left, but I do not have time to wait for them to restock. I'll head out tomorrow to buy the remaining materials I need. I will also leave some money to buy food.
I'm very grateful towards Tzu Chi. Because of your assistance, my daughter is able to have a pair of new glasses.
Marif, who lives in Daranga, leads the volunteers to look for her door, which has been blown away by the typhoon.
I've received the monetary aid from Tzu Chi Foundation. It's really of great help for my family. We were able to buy the needed materials to repair the front door of our house.
For some families who are in debt, the monetary aid is able to help them relieve some pressure and also start a small business to carry on with their lives. Master Zheng Yan went to Xingdian Jingsi Hall to have a warm gathering with the medical team and volunteers, and then visited Tzu Chi grounds in Neihu to chat with the volunteers. Here's more.
The master went to Neihu and understand how the volunteers practice purify at the source. She also went to the handicrafts workshop to show concern and thank everyone for protecting the earth with their uplifting hands.
每一个人师傅教位的时，大家人拢甲迄双手安尼压悬悬咯，互师傅看。因为师傅讲，上水的是啥物啊？是啊，环保的手。
On the morning of this day, a warm gathering was also held in Xindian. The medical team reported that they had provided screening tests for the family of the suffering patients out of their own pockets to help find out the cause of illness.
The social worker called the manufacturer that he had not seen the attending physician and the social worker devote to the case so actively and paid for any expense out of his own pocket.
And the volunteers also reported that when they saw the people with mobility issues in the community, they also took the initiative to learn massage with a view to relieve their sufferings.
We have been with the massage for 3 years already. Now he begins to walk on his own without trying to strain under his feet.
Seeing the medical team and volunteers helping others in different places and in different ways, the master praised them for their brilliant work.
对病人呐，那样的尽心力不只是医病，还要出钱，真的是很感动，也很贴心呐。对的事呢，还是做就对，这么简单。所以感恩你们都听师父的话，而且呢，爱师父所爱的人。
No matter which corner you are in society, just give of yourself sincerely to help others and protect the environment. Only by purifying people's mind can disaster be resolved.
In Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, Cardiovascular Center's director, Dr. Xie Shirong, combines his artistic talent with medical knowledge, sketching out improved surgical methods and publishing it to magazines. Take a look.
A careful and serious cardiac surgeon and an expressive healing artist. Although these are two different fields of study, it is perfectly combined in Xie Shirong.
At the start, it was just a memoir. Honestly speaking, it's for the doctors to see because doctors and I will flip to this page. The patients open it like this, but it wasn't meant for communicating with patients. It was for talking to my colleagues. When I was publishing my thesis, drawings are necessary.
Originally suffering from mitral insufficiency, Li Ziyu has used medicine since youth in order to control her condition. Last year, she had breathing issues along with cold symptoms. At first, she thought it was just a small issue, but after a medical check, Li Ziyu found out that she had a heart issue.
At that time, after the medical check, I feel a bit scared. And when he told me that I have to do cardiac catheterization along with the possible surgery, I felt more comfortable doing the surgery.
As a nurse, Li Ziyu thought she would be calm, but before the surgery she was unable to sleep due to nervousness. But Dr. Xie's handwritten instructions successfully relieved her stress before and after surgery.
I thought I was calm. My colleagues came over and encouraged me. I thought everything was fine. But the day before surgery at night, when I was about to sleep, I couldn't fall asleep. When I read the notes from Dr. Xie, his notes are clear and explain risks. This is my first time feeling moved after seeing a doctor because the notes were handwritten, not typed in the computer. I thought, how can there be a doctor, a famous doctor, to be specific, willing to write about his patient's conditions? I felt very valued at that moment.
With empathy, one may understand the patient better and communicate well, but the key to a successful surgery is to constantly improve techniques, making the cardiac surgery simpler and safer. Trying his best to perfect everything at work, although it seems normal for a doctor, yet it is complicated. A perfect slice of life for cardiac surgeon Xie Shirong.
In Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteer Yesi Christina vowed to actively recommend DaAi TV programs to more people and also invite everyone to support it. Here's more.
This smile is the best gift received during home visitation.
I want to pass on the meaning of life, that is compassion, and I think Tzu Chi is the most righteous cultivation field. I sometimes take my children to participate in home visitations so they can see the sufferings and learn to cherish their own blessings.
Going out to conduct home visitations and doing recycling, Yesi Christina started doing Tzu Chi activities with her husband and 3 children since 2007. In 2017, she was certified as a Tzu Chi volunteer and further devoted to the humanitarian mission.
Saya merasa DaAi TV adalah berita dalam kegelapan. Tapi saat rasa terharu itu, saya bertanya.
I think DaAi TV is a light in the dark. When I felt touched, I thought being touched was not enough. Later, I made up my mind to turn my impression into action. I decided to go door to door to raise funds after I got certified.
Akhirnya saya berikrar di hati bahwanya pulang ke Indo, saya akan ketok door-to-door untuk menggalang satu doa buat DaAi TV.
In less than a year, 1,000 people were touched by Christina's sharing to support DaAi TV. This also inspired her to make a new vow to give of herself to Indonesia DaAi TV.
When it comes to doing good deeds, as long as we still have the ability, there is no such word as limited. As long as we are thrifty, we will be able to make a donation.
Practicing Tzu Chi's spirit, Yesi Christina always bears kind thoughts, planting the seeds of love in the heart of whoever she meets.
During winter, Tzu Chi volunteers based in California have been giving care to homeless people in St. Gabriel, providing blankets and scarves. Take a look.
Trolleys, the Bible, and beverages are thrown near the San Gabriel River, showing signs of homeless people living nearby.
People, they clean out the riverbed, and at that point, the people don't leave. They just have to come up on the bike trail, and then they wait to see, where the cleaning's going to go, and then they move back in because they don't have a place to move to.
U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers went to the riverside, providing blankets to homeless people as they needed the warmth.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
California often has good weather. Even during the winter, snow rarely falls. That is why homeless people like the city. Recently, the population of the homeless increased, and in California, numbers have risen to the highest in the states. Before Thanksgiving, 12 charity organizations sent love and care to the park as Tzu Chi's eco-friendly blanket becomes popular.
It's wonderful for you to be of service today with the blankets. It was so cold last night. I thank you so much for the blankets and the scarf.
Blanket will help me out to survive that cold.
The joy others experience while getting the blankets makes us feel happy too.
This care and love under the pandemic is a morale boost to everyone here.
The local county issued a certificate of thanks, appreciative to Tzu Chi for their assistance and love.
Thank you so much. We're so pleased to be here and alongside with you. And thank you for being a partner.
In Taiwan, Wang Wei-chun's father was diagnosed with oral cancer when Wang was in elementary school. Tzu Chi volunteers appeared in his life, providing love and care towards the father and son pair.
这样子，我的研究比较偏向于人类的免疫系统上面。我基本上每天都在学校。
25-year-old Wang Wei-chun is studying in the Department of Microbiology and Immunology in National Cheng Kung University. Besides working part-time to earn his living expenses, he spends the rest of his time in the university.
Back then, my father's cancer has worsened, so I applied for a university with good reputation in the southern region of Taiwan.
The ENT doctor did a checkup and told me that the side of my teeth has rotten.
Wang Wei-chun is the only child in his family. His father was diagnosed with oral cancer and his parents have divorced. The medical expenses for his father's treatment has made him want to drop out from university on a few occasions. But luckily, Tzu Chi volunteers appeared.
I was very touched by Auntie Su Feng's actions. My father's condition was very serious back then. She brought a lot of Tzu Chi uncles and aunties to visit my father, bringing us into the Tzu Chi family.
I do not need to worry about him. He has great education and his personality is also great. He also doesn't have any bad habits.
Wang Wei-chun is very hardworking and his father is very proud of him. Besides reciprocating back towards his father, he also wants to reciprocate back towards society.
Looking back, I realized that my father brought me to the farm and work because he was worried I would be alone at home. So he had to bring me with him. I know it must be tough for him to raise me up until now. I hope in the future I'm able to contribute myself in Tzu Chi works.
Wang Wei-chun has been a New Shoot Scholarship recipient for 3 consecutive years now. He hopes that in the future, he can use the medical knowledge he has learned to help elevate the sufferings of other people. In Nantou's Puli, the Qi'an Qingjiao Festival is held every 12 years, with more than 80,000 people in the area becoming vegetarian for 7 days. Here's more.
In the urban area of Puli, big red lanterns are hung up along the street. The 12-year Qian Jingjiao ceremony has been held for 7 consecutive days. The residents of the town have to adopt a vegetarian diet for the week.
There are about 80,000 people in our greater Puli area, including 2 villages in Renai Township, Nanfeng Village and Datong Village. Even in Wushe, they have about 1,000 people to organize this event.
The Puli Qian Qingjiao Festival is hosted by the local Henji Matsu Temple. It is held in the Year of the Rat and has a history of 120 years.
It can be called unique in Taiwan to have such a large-scale event.
The Puli Zhenjiao originally celebrated the completion of a temple and prayed for relief from the plague. From the beginning, there is a vegetarian custom, and this ancient ceremony has been inherited from past dynasties.
During the Jianjiao, there is also a very important ritual of vegetarianism, offering vegetarian foods to the Buddhas and gods. And then another one is eating vegetarian food, and a third is the inner vegetarianism. Our inner heart must also be free of killing.
It is recorded in the Book of Rites that adopting vegetarian can appease ghosts and gods, meaning that to pray to the gods, one must first eat vegetarian foods. Therefore, every family in Puli Township is vegetarian during this period, and tourists are no exception. Therefore, many restaurants which sell meat prepare ingredients in advance every year and only sell vegetarian food during the 7-day period.
I think the first thing is respecting life, and the second is it's a local custom, so we have to cooperate no matter what.
Even chain burger restaurants, hypermarkets, and convenience stores cooperate by not selling meat products.
They'll remove the meat and sell all vegetarian dishes. Children living in other counties will follow their mother's instruction to be vegetarian for the purpose of purifying the body, mouth, and heart to welcome the gods.
The festival, which has lasted for more than 100 years, continues to this day, adding different elements one after another. For example, the town hall held a vegetarian cooking class teaching everyone how to cook delicious vegetarian food. There's also the Healthy Vegetarian Life Festival, where people go to a vegetarian restaurant. They can participate in a vegetable banquet or redeem a coupon for Tzu Chi's vegetarian meal box.
Such an event actually drives all townspeople to become vegetarian and know more about vegetarian restaurants.
Tzu Chi volunteers were also invited to participate in on-site prayer activities for ancestors. And at Taiwan Sugar Plaza, the mobile environmental education vehicle is used to promote environmental protection and vegetarianism.
A carbon reduction lifestyle is promoted by way of food, clothing, housing, and transportation. It includes vegetarian food, and this including our environmentally friendly one-stop.
Pray for the elimination of COVID-19. The Puli Qian Qingjiao Festival has been expanded this year, inviting Daja Zhenlan Matsu to attend.
Many of our temples in Puli also came to participate in the grand event, using this blessing ceremony for religious interaction and exchange.
Everyone is a devout vegetarian and prays for peace as this tradition continues and is the most important part of spiritual life in Puli.
In Yunlin, Tzu Chi volunteers seize the opportunity to hold a stem cell registry drive during the weekends, with many young people registering. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.